Hi everyone, welcome to the Bioinformatics Coach channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to perform metagenomic sequence classification using Kraken and visualize the results using krona charts, okay, or the krona pie chart. So by the end of this tutorial, you are going to be able to know how to generate this kind of plot for your metagenomic data. So let's get started. So first of all, you have to open your Galaxy page. All right, I'll just start from scratch. So with the Galaxy, you can use galaxy.org or galaxy.eu. I think I'll just do something here for you to see. So this is galaxy.org. So there's the web address, and then we also have galaxy.eu. All right, so any of them will be okay for you to use. So just go to any of them, yeah, to use it. I sometimes use EU because I realize that one sometimes it's faster, the job doesn't get queued much, but whichever be the case, any of them should be fine for you to use. So just use any of these links. I'll put them all in the description box. All right, now if you are going to perform your metagenome sequence classification, it's always important to know what you want to do. So in this tutorial, what I'm going to do is to give you this link. So just read about the taxonomic profiling and visualization of metagenomic data. So actually this tutorial I'm doing is based on this Galaxy tutorial. So they have a nice write-up here that will help you get started if you are a beginner. All right, so let's proceed. So for this video, the focus is to use Kraken and then classify the reads. So I will move straight to that part. And then for write-up and for beginners, please read this intro here. So I'll use this link here, use galaxy.org. So if you are going to classify your reads, obviously you will need to have your input files. So because we are going to be dealing with NGS data, you need to have your data. I have an example data set that we are going to use. So for beginners, no need to look for data. I will show you how to get it. But let's first open our Galaxy and then let's create a new history. So in Galaxy, come to the top right, you will see history. Click on plus. Then you have a new history created, which is titled unnamed. So here you can edit it here. So just follow my cursor, edit it, and then rename it to whichever one you want. So I'll just say Kraken classification or any appropriate title, or let's say Metagenomics data classification, or I mean just Metagenomics sequence data classification. Okay, I'll just put any, it's just for you to know the title. That's all that you need to know here. All right, so I'll just save it so that I can keep record of it. So when I come to this straight to history, I'll be able to see all my history stuffs. All right, so that's all that you need to know here. Okay, now let's first import our data. So let's get back to this tutorial here. The link to this page is in the description box. I repeat, the link to this page is in the description box. So when you are here, scroll down a bit and then you'll get the data. So there's an outline here which you can click. Here it says prepare Galaxy and data, which you can click to get you straight to the links for your data sets. Or you can also manually scroll down to get it. Now when you are here we have two samples. The data sets we have here are Illumina reads, I believe so. Or let me just say they are paired end reads. I'll just put it this way. So they are paired end reads. So there are two samples. So the first two is for one sample. The last two are also for another sample. Here we are going to focus on just one sample. So we'll just take the first two links here. It's the links that we need. Galaxy will automatically import them for us in our account. So just come to this page and then highlight, copy the links, and then go to your Galaxy page, your Galaxy account. And then on the top left hand side, there is upload here. So click upload And then on this page here, this window that pops up, come down to this side. On the right hand side here, you'll see paste/fetch data. So paste/fetch data, click it, and then when you are here, just move straight to this side, this middle here, where you have this big box, long box, all right? And then paste the links you copied. The links you copied from here, come and paste them here. And then once you are done, go to start. So click start. And then once you click start, this should progress to 100% with a blue color. And once it's done, we are going to see on the right hand side an activity. You will see that some new files have been created. So we can close this window and then we wait. We have to wait until the background turns green, then we can proceed. So this should take some time. So just be patient and then wait for the data to be imported for you. All right, so the data has been imported, and so what we are going to do next is to perform the sequence classification. It's also important that for NGS sequencing data, if you get it, you make sure you check the quality, do a QC to make sure the data is okay, and then where necessary, trim the read adapters, trim and remove read data of low quality, etc. Okay, so these are things that I'm going to skip, but there are tutorials I've done earlier to cover those aspects. And also you can check Galaxy. They have a link. Let me just share that. They have a page where you can also learn about quality control. So there's the link. I'll just open it for you to see. Okay, so I'll leave the link also in the description box, this one also, so that I can check on, you can look at how to perform quality control on your sequence data. So that's about it. Okay, so let's go back. So again, the data has been pre-processed, so QC has been done, all necessary processing has been done. So this data is ready to be analyzed. So that's why we are going straight to Kraken. So if you have your raw data, you need to make sure it goes through the QC process. Okay, now to perform sequence classification using Kraken on Galaxy, you come to the tools. So click on tools, which are here. When you click on tools, you should see this window coming up. You should see tools and you should see this list coming up. Then we will search for Kraken2. Kraken. Yeah, okay, so here it doesn't show the 2. Okay, yeah, so we have the 2 here, so Kraken2. So that's what we are going to be using. So I'll click Kraken2, and when I click it, I'll be asked a number of questions. So these are parameters that we need to specify. Here I'm dealing with a paired end data, so I'll click this one here. Here we have single or paired. Since I'm dealing with paired end data, I'll click and then select paired. Then when I scroll down, I'll have to make sure I specify the right information. So forward strand, that will be R1. So I'll click and then select JC1A R1. When I come here, reverse strand, that will be 2. So I click and I select R2. Now we also need to indicate something else. All right. And that is the confidence. So we will use 0.1 according to what has been indicated in this tutorial. That's what I am following. When you scroll down, you will go to reports, create reports. So when you are here, click it, and then we will check this one. The first one, it says print a report with aggregate count / create file. We will need this so that the visualization can be done appropriately. So I will say yes to this, and then I will scroll down. So when you scroll down, you are going to see a database. You know that reads here, we need to compare them to already existing information before we can say that this read belongs to this particular group of this particular class, or maybe kingdom, or this specific organism. So we need to be able to get a database that will help us do that comparison and assign those labels. So that's where Kraken2 database comes in. So there are several databases, and so what you need to do is to find out which of them is appropriate for your work. So this is something that you have to decide. And so for this tutorial, I'll just use RefSeq. Let me just check. I'll use RefSeq. So let's see which of them I should use. I'll check here. Okay, yeah, so I'll just use this one here. It says 2025-02. So this is what I'm going to use. So I just type REF. I can also add a RefSeq like this. All right, so I'll just use this one. So you can also explore the various databases and then see which one is appropriate for your data. All right, but I think RefSeq should be fine for you as well. So I'll just use it, and then I'll click on Run 2 to run it. So the reason why I'm using RefSeq is that this data is shotgun. All right, so I'm just using the RefSeq because it will have all the information that I need. And so once I've clicked it and then it's successful, you see this happening. So the color changes from gray to orange, and so orange means it's working. So all that we have to do is to wait for it to be done. I think when I ran it for the first time, it took about 20 minutes or so, but let's see. So it should be done. So you just have to be patient and wait for the background to also turn green like this, then we will have our result. So let's wait for everything to get done for us. Okay, so Kraken2 classification has been done. So we can just view the output here. So if I click on this one, for example, this is data number 3. Check the label here. So I click, I'm going to see some information here. You can download and view it. You can also check the classification output here. All right. Now for the text here, it will give you the classification. All right. It gives you the number of reads assigned, etc. But it's always important to find a way to explain and then understand. And so one way to do this is to visualize. That will allow you to quickly gain insights to what you have and also compare. And so what you are going to do is to now generate, we are going to visualize this output, okay, the one in the report file with krona, and then we will have some discussion. So if you are going to use krona, you need to first convert the reports to another format and then give it to krona. So I will come here. I was still on Kraken, but if you are not there, just come to tools again and search for Kraken tools. So this will give you some information. So we are looking for the tool which says convert Kraken report file to krona text file, which is this one here. So click it, and when you click it, it will ask for the input file. So here we are using the Kraken report file, which is data number 3. So when you come here, okay, just to note for each of these files here, okay, these are numbered in order of when they were created. So here we are using number 3. So when you come to the report file here, all right, click and then select data number 3, which is this one, and then click on run 2. So you can click here or click here, any of them is fine. So click and then let's run the 2. So this should generate another file which we'll use as input for krona. So let's wait for everything to get done for us. All right, so the Kraken output has been converted to an appropriate format that will allow us to generate the plots. So that is this one. So what we are going to do next is to call krona. So I'll call it. So this is krona pie chart from taxonomic profile. So I'll click it and then I will select the Kraken output, the one we converted, which is data number 5. So here we need to indicate what kind of data. So when I come to the krona type of input data, I will select tabular. So I'll click and then say tabular. Then I'll select data 5. If you don't see it there, just click and then select it. All right. So that's data number 5. I'll just do it again. So you should see it highlighted in blue. Then the rest of the stuff, we will maintain them. Here it says provide a name for basal rank, optional. If let's say everything, all the reads you think they are bacteria, you can change this to bacteria. But aside that, you can just leave it with roots, right? So if you want to read more about Krona chart, you can just check it out on GitHub. So this is the page. You can read more about Krona tools and how to use it, and also learn what each of these parameters do or does. All right. So just check this page. The link to this page is in the description box. Now let's get back to Galaxy. So once I'm done with this, I have roots, everything I need is there. I'll just click run to here or here. So I click it and then I'll have to wait for the output to be given. So let's wait for everything to get done for us. All right, so the Krona chart has been generated. So we can click and then view it. So to view, just click this one, view. And once you do that, it's going to load the Krona plots for you. So let's wait for it to get loaded for us. All right. So it has been generated for us. So we see the outputs. And so here it gives us the classification and also lets us know the proportion of sequence reads that were assigned that label. And for the labels to, because we are dealing with a taxonomy, it also gives you it's in a hierarchical manner. So kingdom, phylum, class, order, etc. So all those outputs generated will depend on what Kraken gave, because this one is essentially using output from Kraken. So what is in Kraken is what is reported here in Krona. So just take note of that. So Krona itself does not generate a data, it rather uses the data you have generated to give you the plots. So if there are some information here that you want to clarify, you can go back to Kraken and check it out and then link it up with Krona. So this chart, for example, here I see 2 kingdoms. So if you look at the labels here, so K here is for kingdom, so K underscore bacteria, so kingdom bacteria, kingdom eukaryota. So here I see 2 kingdoms in this particular chart. So just also bear in mind that you should use this information to interpret your data. So you have to link it up and make sure you are telling your story. All right. So this one here is the data, is information that has been observed from this input data. So that is what I am using to explain. So we have kingdom, you have, and under bacteria, we also have phylum, class, etc. So it's in that hierarchical order. So that lets you also know the final details. So if it's kingdom bacteria, what groups or class of bacteria are there? It can let you know, and sometimes it can also be specific. And so you have to know how to discuss and interpret that. And we also have read that were unclassified. So we have 70, I think 76% or so. That's quite a lot. So the majority of the reads here have not been classified, they are unclassified. So unclassified, there could be a number of reasons. It could be that there's not much information in the database that will help Kraken, or that will help Kraken to classify them, or it could also be that there's information. However, your data itself has those sequences which probably are artifacts. So there are a number of reasons. So you have to investigate it further and then see. But in general, what this tells us is the classification, and it also shows us the redistribution, all right, for the organisms or kingdoms that have been, or let's say phylum, or whichever groups that have been identified here. So you just have to know how to do. So this can also help, sometimes you'll be dealing with some specific extracts, and then for these extracts, there are likely to be some normal bacteria which are supposed to be there normally. So if you do this classification and you see these organisms, it lets you, gives a confirmation that yes, you are dealing with the right extract. Or if let's say the suspected organisms are not there, that can also let you know that, okay, something is wrong here or there's an anomaly. So you may want to check them out. So just, you have to link it up with the story you want to tell, but eventually it's essentially all that you need to know, that this will give you the classification and the reads distribution, and that's what I'll have to tell for now. So just check out the rest of the tutorials here and then just take note of that. So later on, we're also going to look at how to build a workflow so that whenever you want to rerun some samples, you don't have to go and click the tools, dataset, all those things. So there's a way to automate it, which can be done via workflows. I think there was some here like this. So via workflows like this, you'll be able to automate the process as well. So that'll be all for this tutorial. We are going to talk about the workflows and automation later on. So also send me an email in case you want clarification or you want to book a session for tutorials and analysis. So I'll see you in the next video.